Me too. Jake, how the fuck you been?
I've been good.
Yeah.
It's been real good.
While.
It's been a long time. The highly anticipated season 2 is in full of fucking effect.
That's right. We're either going way up or we're going to just bottom out. We're not quite sure.
And that's all it was. I just wanted to give a lot of anticipation to like our 3 followers and viewers and just really make them just sit on this next season. But we're coming with a bang. We're coming with a bang. I am throwing Hail Marys to guests and we're going to spice some shit up.
Have you had Jolt Cola?
I'm from the West Coast. We don't have Faygo. We don't have Jolt. RC's
Jolt, don't you dare. Don't you dare put those two in the same category.
I mean, the shoe fits.
I'm wearing boots.
Where did you get that? The Dollar Tree?
No, man. The local food emporium.
Yeah, that's an East Coast.
Where people purchase food.
Yeah, I always forget you guys are about 5 years behind us.
Well, we have grocery stores. You fucking West Coasters just have food banks now, you socialist pricks.
Okay,
sorry, you hit a string, man. You can't come at my Jolt crazy like that.
Well, it was just a little thrown off because you've been spoiling that first form for a minute. So I was like, I didn't know if Andy Frisella had bought Jolt or something.
No, Redcon.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, Redcon bought Jolt. Yeah.
So it's a Redcon product, but they branded it Jolt.
So Jolt was the original energy drink back in the 90s. It was the first drink to have a ridiculous, unhealthy, almost illegal level of caffeine.
What?
Yeah, dude, it's been around since the early 90s.
I thought Jolt was a cola.
Yeah, well, so it was a cola, and now they have they always had a root beer flavor, I recall. But now they have like a Dr. Pepper rendition, and it's quite delightful. It's called Dr. Jolt. I mean, they need to work on their creative team. I feel like they may need to put a little bit more budget into that, but
I feel like their branding is just give me a call, Jolt, if you're ready to step it up.
That's right. Yeah. Dr. Thunderfuck.
I mean, obviously our break wasn't even like, we didn't even discuss the break. It just organically happened. I think like you and I both had a lot of stuff going on and really good stuff. I mean, you've had a 360 lifestyle change. I've really cut back on the internet and social media and dialed in on human interaction and connection and all the stuff we preach about, you know? So it's been, I mean, fuck, you've been to Montana, you've been to Utah now. I just got back from New York and I mean, I think we're both thriving, you know?
Yeah. And I think sometimes that's necessary though. I mean, you can do so much work, pound so much ground that you realize all you're doing is smashing rocks. And I think that's kind of where we got. Where we were just sitting around just breaking rocks for rock breaking purposes, not to actually build anything after a while.
Well, it was even like the podcast. I love doing the edits. I love doing, but there's a lot that people don't understand that go into the behind the scenes stuff of like doing a podcast. It's not just slapping some reels up and putting a thing on YouTube. It was like, you know, I put us on 46 different channels. I was networking, the edits, the reels. Then I go out of my way for each guest to get a personal, like kind of like reel for them. And it becomes a lot, but it's fun work, you know, but at a certain point I had to hold the brakes because you were traveling. I knew I had some stuff coming up and then we kind of shift things with the coaching mentorship, you know? So I think this break was necessary. And I joked with the idea of making it a season 2, but in reality it kind of is because we had a hell of a season 1. I mean, we had some phenomenal guests, incredible stories. And I'm ready to kind of bring it back, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think we learned a lot of valuable lessons in life. Like I definitely have way more questions than I do answers after getting out and doing all the stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's so cool to be able to sit down with people who have been through it. Yeah. And then we took a pause. We went through it, which just brings up more things that we need to talk about. People need to know what I learned, especially like doing all the events that I was doing, is I don't give a fuck about being a tattoo artist, even less now than ever before. Like I find so much more relatability to people who just see themselves becoming better, not becoming better at the thing everyone knows them for.
Yeah.
Holy shit. You know what I mean? And I mean, after talking to like Rick Thorne and Superhuman Father and even Austin and those guys, like all they talked about was who they were to get to where they got, not how they got to where they wanted to go by pretending or the fake it till you make it thing. And it was like that hit so hard with the market we were serving. Like, we don't help musicians, we don't help tattoo artists, we help people. You can take that, what you do as a person, anywhere you want.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
learned that in spades traveling the way I did. Like,
Yeah.
people are cool as fuck everywhere. There's also people who suck a bucket of buttholes everywhere. You just got
Yeah.
to pick your fucking tribe.
Well, and dude, that was the beauty of going to New York. I mean, it was a completely different experience from when I'd been there in my 20s. You know, I traveled to New York a lot. We lived in Queens for almost 2 months in between tours. And it's a, how do I put this, man? It's a completely different lifestyle out there. Everybody was so fucking cool. And I remember when Ange for years has told me, she's like, New York's on my bucket list. Like, take me to New York. And I'm like, out of all the places we can spend our money, like, I'm not taking you. I've been there. You know what I mean? She's like, but it was cool being with her because she had never experienced anything like that. I don't even think she's been in a big city like that other than, LA,
Yeah.
downtown Scottsdale, Vegas. So watching her light up, I mean, we did every possible tourist thing we could. But dude, just the people out there, and I don't know if it's the World Cup. I've noticed a huge shift in people uniting these last few months. And, by golly, man, fucking soccer or football being the reason that these people are coming together. You're watching Brazil and America and Argentina and Belgium and Switzerland and people just rooting for different countries. And it makes you really sit back and realize a lot of the shit is due because the government is separating us. And I'm not trying to get into this too hard, but being in New York, it was an eye opener of people just united, different races sitting next to each other, having a pint, eating food at dinner tables. You've got every nationality in that city. I know it's everywhere, but it was a beautiful thing. Even the people you thought that were about to jack your handbag were just the most down to earth, polite people in the world, going out of their way to give you directions, making sure you went the right way, giving you ideas and where to go and what to see instead of just being closed minded and like, no, fuck this guy. He didn't pay me $5 for, this. So it was, it was a beautiful thing. It was really cool.
Well, I mean, and I think this does kind of tailor to kind of what our mission has been since we started Let Her Rip, where it is back to analog. Like when you go into the political climate of everything, the intent is division and also to keep people comfortable where they are. Like, most people don't travel the way you did because of what they hear about the places when they once upon a time dreamed of going. And you're always going to think it's the worst until you go there and experience it. I mean, there's some hot and cold and gray there because I still have a I mean I still firmly dislike both California and New York, but I still go to both of them at least once a year. But that's because I'm in the heartland, which is just genuinely the best, and there's no getting out of that. So we can move right on from that debate.
Yeah.
Um, but like politically, if you really think about it, I think most people to a degree yearn for conservative values without the political ideology. Most people, they want to be free. Most people, they want to have a belief. Most people want to follow their dreams. Most people want to be able to be financially free. Most people want to be able to have a solid family dynamic. But because they've hijacked all of these words, it's created so much division pertaining to that. And that's the one thing that I've learned the most is most people want the same stuff. They just want to achieve it from a different pathway. And if they listen to all the wrong people tell them how they can get there, it makes it seem so much easier than it really is.
For sure. I agree with that 100%. So tell me, I mean, the viewers, like, how was Montana? Like, let's talk about why you were traveling, like what the intention was, what the goal was, why you were invited out there. Like, let's wrap on that because I think it's a great story.
Um, it's kind of I'm still kind of living in the finding clarity in it so that I can continuously repeat it thing. I've created some really cool friendships with some really amazing people. I mean, and yourself included, even the Scottsdale trip. and the first letter rip tour. It had its pros and cons and a lot of valuable life lessons learned, both the hard way and the fun way. Um, but I've found myself in really amazing rooms with some really amazing people, and it's all because of who I was willing to be. I always thought the best thing about me was I tattooed. The one thing everybody wants is tattoos, and by golly, I do them, so they're gonna love the hell out of me. But that wasn't the case at all. When I talked to Rob, when I talked to Keith, they're like, "We don't care that you're a tattoo artist. We don't like the fact that you're a social media coach. We like the fact you're out of your mind and you outperform most people because of that chaos." And because of that, I built relationships with them as people. You always look at it from Jake Sirachman from Mantis, Michael Getz, the tattoo artist, Rob Bailey, Flag Norfail, Keaton Hoskins, the Diesel Brothers, Sean Whalen, Lions Not Sheep, Andy Frisella, First Form. That's what you know them as. That's the badge you've attached to them. But none of them really care about that. Those things don't define them. It was who they became to make those things possible that make them human. They just want to see the fact that people are willing to do a lot with passion and with conviction. That's how I wound up being able to do all these things, man. Like I genuinely just want to be of service to quality people. And because of that, it opened up a lot of doors, like
Yeah.
really fucking quickly.
Well, and I think that's kind of like how we preach to some of the community dudes. Like, and I had to learn this, and you've seen the growth in me is when I used to be introduced or somebody was like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "Oh, I just do graphic design. I used to be in a band, and I kind of doodle with this." And they're just like, "Man, this guy is kind of fucking dull, you know." But now it's like, "Hey, what do you do?" I'm like, "What? What do I not do? I fucking do this. I travel. I'm fucking here." And people are like, damn, I want to hang out with you. You know what I mean? It's your presence. And it's the same thing I tell people when I used to walk in the room, no matter how tired I was, someone's like, "How are you feeling?" I'm like, "Oh," or "How are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh man, I'm fucking tired, dude." Well, that just dove the fucking energy of that room down to a zero. Now I
Yeah.
walk into those rooms, like, no matter how tired I'm, like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "Man, I'm fucking great. Life is beautiful. Fucking, not the best day, but I made the best of it, And they're just like, fuck, I want that dude's energy,
Yeah.
And so much has shifted when I made that. And I love the fact that you just explained of like Andy being first one because these people get in rooms because they want to be enlightened. They want to feel a presence of just electricity and fucking just vibrance, dude. Not cool. That guy's a tattoo artist and just kind of dull and boring. You know what I mean? And that's why we're able to go as far as we want. And it's the same thing when I walk in these biohacking rooms like New York. I'm probably one of the only sleeved up, tattooed from head to toe, fucking energetic, like crazy fuck. People still probably go home and go, what does that guy even do? Like,
Yeah.
but they want to be with me. They want to hang out with me because now I go in those rooms, no matter if I know that dude's a billionaire, I know this guy owns 400 wellness centers across the world, I know this person invented this peptide. It's like I'm just deep in the conversation with them. I'm just flowing. I'm just having a good time and just being me, Jake from fucking Mantis. You know what I mean? Same. I treat everybody the same way now as I used to walk in the rooms before gigs and go talk to fans and people in the rooms and like just like I'm at the merch table selling merch and just telling stories and going to the next city. It's really kind of like my whole existence right now of being a fucking person and being alive.
Yeah. So I guess the question is, what do you find what do you find more valuable? This is a loaded question. Accolades or identity?
Mm, I don't know, man.
So I think this is something that I've kind of
Explain the context above. Like, how are you perceiving that question?
so one thing I've been thinking a lot about is the analogy of don't put the cart before the horse. What came first, the chicken or the egg? What's more valuable, your accolades or your identity? You know what I mean? So your accolades being all the things that you've done compiled enough to create you, that you is your identity. And a lot of people with the list that I had mentioned or the people that you're meeting, we see where they are and what they do, but we have to take the time to get to know the identity behind it because otherwise you're just hanging out with a brand. And this is where I find a little pushback from teaching branding is the misconception of it. Like I didn't go and do the operator standard and get interviewed by First Form or the operator standard. I got interviewed by Vaughn and Andy Frisella, by the people who built it. But most people just see the value they have, what they have, all that shit. They see the things, not the vessel or the vehicle or the identity. But in the same note, like you just said, like Jake from Mantis, Jake the graphic designer, Jake the branding wizard, Jake the apparel designer, all of those things make are parts of Jake, but they are not the identity of Jake. They are the accolades that created Jake.
And that's, that's why I loved working with Matt so much, is because that's what really shifted that tide. You know what I mean? With Matt, with Not Dead Yet, is, when he was first talking to me, it was just like, yeah, I did this and I've done this and I've done a lot. And he's just like, well, what's separating the two? Like, you're still that same dude who toured the world and did the things and, developed all this stuff and built brands. He's like, nothing's changed, and that's really what most people have to realize is, and that's why we always talk about it. Like, the people that give up in their 40s, or their late 30s, where we tell them, like, you can still do that. You can start the band at 44. You can start the clothing company. I'll give props to Karate Scotty today. He just put out a post talking about doing the things you love and the negativity around when you tell somebody your ideas.
Yeah.
Like, if you tell your best friend, like, oh man, I want to start a clothing, I'm like, why, dude? Like, there's so many clothing companies out there. Like, why? And the negativity shuts that one person down instead of just going for it and doing what you truly love. And I think that's the difference between you and I, especially this last year's. Let's start the podcast. Let's start the clothing company. Let's open a brick and mortar. Let's open a wellness center. Let's go to New York. Let's go to Montana. Let's go seal ripping. Let's go do what? Like, who's stopping us? Our wives aren't. It's one thing if your wife say no, then you really can't fucking do it. But it's another thing when you got full support and they're like, let's go. Can I come with you?
Yep.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And if you all at home don't have one of those.
And wow, is that huge though? Because I think that is the question that needs to be answered. And I think a question that needs to be asked more often. What is stopping you? Like, I know what always stopped me. It was fear. Fear of resources, fear of missing out, fear of failure, fear of time. But now I'm not saying none of those things aren't a thing anymore. They still actively exist. Every trip I go on, it's like, what in the fuck am I doing? Like, I mean, one business I just had, I left on the drop of a dime. Didn't even let the pin hit the ground and flip before I was fucking out. And I didn't even think about it. I didn't have to question it, doubt it. I didn't have to find the perfect plan. I just fucking went. When I went to Utah to tattoo at the Limitless VIP event, I was asked a week and a half if I would actively do it to their capacity, have all of these things, have a full on brand booth prepared. I had a week and a half to get all that. I was like, don't know how, but yes, yeah, run it. You know what I mean? I got asked to be interviewed by Andy and Vaughn on a Thursday, and I had to be there on a Saturday. And at this point, it's just like you said, like, I'm 40. This is my second life. You know what I mean? I feel like I am at the bottom of the mountain looking up with the clearest fucking perspective and the clearest vantage point ever. There's nothing worse than being in the middle of the mountain and having rested and then losing sight of where you were headed. I would way rather just start right back from scratch, look all the way up and say, I can do this and not just not lose momentum this time.
Yeah. No, I love that. And something I love, you always ask me, Jake, if money aside, and then you ask a specific question like, where would you go tomorrow? Money aside, where would you want to go in the world? And I love that because it makes you think, and then you really think about it, like, fuck, that's the only thing stopping me is maybe I can't afford it. Well, why can't I afford it? Have I looked into it? Have I budgeted? Have I planned and went on hotels.com and seen how much the rental car was? And then all of a sudden you do it and you're like, man, I could probably get away with that, but when you limit yourself to your mindset of, I can't because of this, or it's like when, you ask your your best friend couple. Hey, you guys want to go to dinner? Well, I can't. I have the kids. Well, did you even think about getting a sitter for, just little things like that? We let our minds answer for us before we really think about it. No, maybe I can do dinner with them. Maybe my mom will watch the kids and we can go out for a couple hours and my wife can get a glass of wine. But we're so quick to go, I can't, because we're always fucking pulled on that fucking leash of self-doubt and misery that we don't just say, yeah. And that's what's been great lately is, I mean, fuck, 7 days in New York, home for fucking 14 hours, and then right out to Arizona to go spend a fucking amazing day on the water with my kids, like, but I almost said no. I almost said no to the river because at first I was like, oh man, I just got home. I'm really fucking tired. But by the time I got home, got some rest, got up and fucking did it. And then I'm out there just enjoying a beautiful day in the sun on 4th of July.
Yeah, dude, I remember last year, 4th of July, could have been 2 years ago, but you're on the boat, laptop in your lap, just cruising, like trying to have calls with middle of water internet connection, the most piss poor shit I've ever seen in my life. But you missed the entire experience. You were physically present.
The last 3 years, bro. And that was almost every river trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Back then, back then, what's crazy is I thought that was cool because I'm like, I'm able to work from anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
I have my laptop and I'm making money on the river. As I just missed dinner with my family, as I just missed one of the kids flying off of a fucking tube because I'm neck deep in my laptop while going 50 on a boat. Like, get out of here. Yeah, I'll put it this way. I didn't even bring my laptop this last river trip. I only brought my laptop to New York is because I did have 2 days of work at the convention. And that's how I was like signing some of the guests in and doing some networking. Other than that, I don't think I opened my laptop other than to maybe do a couple things for you. But God, it felt good.
Yeah. That was how the Utah trip went. Like I always pack so heavy to be prepared for any scenario where work will call. And I realized whenever I do work on those trips, I'm not in the moment and don't experience it.
Yeah.
B, the work I do is half-ass and piss poor, or at least not up to my standards. Or I just wind up like hyper fixating on wanting to appear like I'm working because I feel like it's part of the job, where part of the job is to actually be present and my full potential identity in those moments. Again, I'm not there because people want to watch me work. I'm there because they like the identity and have opened up the opportunity for me to do what I'm God gifted the opportunity to create. And none of that has anything to do with just like I don't need that shit.
Well, yeah, and that's what's cool about New York is I did a lot of stories. I posted a couple times, but it was Angela's first experience, but it was a different type of posting. I wasn't posting to flex or do B-roll or capture something. I could probably go do a faceless reel in the future or use that for my next Tuesday's family post. It was just like I was just generally in the moment, being a tourist, snapping fucking the city, and it was such a different feeling because normally I'd be like, oh, babe, get me like walking down the street, like looking up at the Empire State Building. So then I could put a motivational quote over the thing with the shadow, and then I could add the dark gym effect. And my mind's going that way as where this, I'm like, hey, babe, let's you and I get in this picture. And like, Christina, will you film us as we're walking? So then I could put it in the Jake and Angela travel fucking album in my phone. Way fucking cooler.
Yeah.
Way cooler. Although I will probably use some of the B-roll. It was really good footage.
Yeah. That's still something I'm trying to get good at. Like the one thing I am terrible at, it's capturing B-roll. Like I take piss poor pictures. I'll just put my phone out the window and just film the road. Like Katie she has the eye for that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And we always go through the coolest shit when she's driving for some fucking reason. And I'm just like, I fucking have a phone with a camera. And I just point and click. It's all bad. All of it's bad. My creativity knows bounds.
Yeah.
But okay, so then here's the follow-up question. Jake, if money were not a thing, what would the rest of 2026 look like for you?
Well, opening 2 businesses, one with my best friend Mikey that he's currently working on in Iowa, and then opening my business here in California to finally follow my heart with something that's been pulling on my heartstrings for a while, which is my wellness and recovery center. Um, Couple more. We've got a Chicago trip planned. We've got Miami planned. We've got this weekend Venice. I think we have a Scottsdale somewhere in there. We've got 3 river trips planned already. Um, so yeah, the next 6 months is looking really nice. Um, Business wise, yeah, I've got 3 things on my plate. Obviously, this one viral. The peptides are doing incredible. Opening or launching the apparel line for Creator Standard. Season 2 of Let Her Rip, and then honestly, the wellness center is really kind of like the micro. It's not a macro right now. The macro is launching this with you, and then continuing to grow my company, and then do these trips with the biohacking stuff. I don't know
Dig
if
it.
that answer your question. I guess there is
No.
money. There's money involved, but I mean, money aside, I don't. I don't really need to plan anything else. I mean, if we follow through with the Chicago trip, that's going to be incredible. Miami's going to be incredible. Scottsdale is going to be incredible. Let a rip tour coming out to Iowa potentially in August with you. Uh, that's a pretty good 6 months, bro. What about
It'll
you?
be it'll
What
be
about
October.
for me out there?
Yeah.
Not August.
Well, so I was thinking August, but I just met with the architect, the interior designer, and the people who own the building, and they're
Isn't
like,
it?
to do this build out the right way, give us 3 months to get it all built out. And so the pivot, maybe I'll come out to you sooner and then get you out here with me, and we'll switch those roles.
Is it snowing in October?
No, it's
Thank God.
it's finally fall
I'll
in
give you
October.
a hard no to that one.
Yeah, no snow. Don't you worry about that.
Good. Yeah, August just got slammed. But yeah, what about? I mean, I guess I can't really ask that question because there's going to be money involved. So we can't do money aside because you've got some credit cards that are going to be in the next couple months.
Um, dude, I'm starting over. I've unsubscribed to the tattoo industry at such a capacity that I'm saying it out loud to everyone. It's not something I've dreamed of. It's something that I'm actively executing in. I don't, and this is a lot of words to get to the point. I don't want my legacy to be Michael Gets the tattoo artist. And I've tried to create that without saying it out loud. I've just tried to make it a natural byproduct. But I think I've hit a point where I need to say it out loud, and I need to realize there has to be an action plan to make that the reality, which is why we're going into the creator standard as a brick and mortar. I
Mm.
don't want to be known as a social media coach, guru, or influencer as the creator standard. I want to create something in analog, in real life, that people can come to and experience and work together in. Like, I want to create a legitimate movement behind it. Yes, it's apparel. Yes, it's art. But most of all, it's for people who um, have been the silent majority and are just kind of sick of sitting on their hands. The people who just they wanted to avoid the the controversy or the conflict of cancel culture, but they know that they have a calling, and they've sat idly by and waited for a perfect opportunity, but they don't know who to associate with or surround themselves with, shy of shitty social media groups. And I was just talking with the people who own the building, and they're going to actively help me promote the shit out of what the creator standard is here locally. There's a big outdoor event center about a quarter block down from where my building is that I have full access to. If I want to do outdoor events, I can be a sponsor of the music that they come and have for this big area. And there's so much shit I can do, but it gives me a platform to actually help people change their lives in analog, not just through a cool reel or a hook or a 3 simple steps post. It's real work that we get to do together. And then also I'll just tattoo whoever the fuck I want so it can stay fun. I can paint whatever I want because it's what I'm called to. I don't have to be defined by just the thing. Now I can be Michael gets the creative, Michael gets the leader, Michael gets the father, Michael gets the husband. All of those accolades can be my identity finally to where I'm not just wearing a badge.
Mm, yeah. I love it. I'm in the same place. I'm in the same place, man. And it feels good. Feels real good. Well,
But
shit.
yeah, it's going to be a very expensive journey, and it here's my thing to that. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? No different than what we had said earlier about the political climate and why people have such strong opinions because of what they hear, not because of what they experience. We all have such a fear of money because of what we hear, not what we experience. When I work, when I actively pursue, I generate revenue as a byproduct.
Yeah.
When I focus on the money, the stress of it, the fear of it, the need for it, it just never seems to happen as quickly as it needs to. And that's why I genuinely don't care. If I need money, I'll find a way to make it. I've got skills, I've got talents, I've got work ethic, I've got conviction. I will always find the money when the money needs to be found. It's the experiences that I yearn for. And one of my favorite experiences in the world, man, is seeing people's light bulb moments happen in real time. Watching people actively change, actively grow, um, finally have that aha moment of a perspective shift where they break their fears because of shit that I've actively been able to like do in my life. I didn't go through the hardest times I could have imagined for any other reason other than to be able to stand 10 toes down in knowing that I got through them. So can you.
Facts, dude. Well, hell yeah. I'm stoked for season 2. I'm actually gonna throw a reel together from this little clip. I've been wanting to use did you get that audio I sent you yesterday?
I don't know. Maybe.
Check the audio, it's gonna be great.
Okay.
It's good. It's gonna be a good one.
Well, Jake, I can't wait for season 2, man. Excited to see who we have lined up or just to be able to rip with my buddy and talk about some shit.